Okay, let's try this again, guys. Thai Sites Shadow Games Report, doing part 34 of Cyberpunk 2077. Apparently my mic was just AWOL on my computer. My mic on my computer wasn't even working. Usually that's my backup. Neither one was registering with the software. So I had to restart my computer. Had to restart my show. I need to restart my life too, if we can. But anyways, I'm going to do about 30 minutes to an hour of news before we get into the game. It's Friday, so I kind of want to make it a shorter news night. But, you know, we're still going to fill it in. Plenty of content. And we are going to play Cyberpunk after we get done. I don't know why my camera only wants to register my face sometimes. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. But, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to stop that music because I was getting kind of irritated in the background from my mic not working. I was just like, man, I just set up my show and everything, and then my mic, of all things, just doesn't work. Pretty stupid. Life of a streamer. An unpopular streamer, apparently. Can barely get anybody to watch my show half the time. I don't know if, like, it's just not the kind of content people want to see, or if I'm just not entertaining enough. Or maybe it's because my face keeps flashing on the screen. Jesus Christ. Be with everyone. So I'm going to finish that sentence. Can my face please just stay on the screen for 5 seconds? Thank you. Just disappears right after. Okay, well, I'm not going to worry about it. I don't know what to do about it either, because it's just like, I mean, it's not a lot moving. I'm not moving. Quit doing that. Quit it. Alright. I'm just going to skim right through the headlines. I want to get straight to the content. I want to get to some of the lingering theories of Charlie Kirk's assassination. I swear, every single day, it's just like a load of crap being piled onto us when it comes to like different theories. And you wouldn't even believe the latest theory, but there is some weird truth to it. And part of it is my theory, like a new theory that I'm starting to kind of come up with just because it was just weird information to learn about. I'll tell you about it, and I'll show you a video too in conjunction with it. But anyways, let me speed run through this real quick, guys. News gaming speedrun, here we go. ABC suspends Jimmy Kimmel live after FCC threat over Charlie Kirk comments. Trump opposes $100,000 annual H-1B visa fee in executive order. Protesters clash with ICE agents at Broadview facility in deportation protests. Senate unanimously, I don't know what the hell I just said. Senate unanimously designates Kirk Remembrance Day, almost said resemblance, Remembrance Day, as House vote divides by party. Trump orders third lethal strike on narco-terrorist drug vessel in international waters. United Nations is trending. Kill. I don't know why that Axios show is still like showing up in the news feed, but I kind of want it to go away. It's been like advertised for several days now. U.S. attorney under pressure to charge Letitia James in mortgage fraud case is resigning. AP sourced. Investigation finds Nebraska is likely under-reporting overdose deaths, costing it prevention money. Family reaches settlement in WBTV meteorologist Jason Myers' wrongful death case. I don't know anything about that. Orthodox Patriarch defends recognition of an independent Ukrainian church. Lawyers for Spanish language journalists in ICE custody fear deportation after unfavorable ruling. Trump DOJ argues Michigan effort to shut down underwater pipeline interferes with U.S. foreign policy. Huh? Foreign policy? What is it, like a pipe going to Canada or something? Strange. Missouri judge strikes down ballot summer for anti-abortion measure backed by Republican lawmakers. Trump signs proclamation imposing $100,000 annual fee for H-1B visa applications. I personally think you should go up to $500,000 just to make it a little bit harder. I mean, governments buy off, will pay for people to do certain things all the time. So why not, up the ante? Why don't we just go ahead? I mean, he already has that gold card thing. So, make it comparable. How much was the gold card? Was it like $500,000? I can't remember. It was something pretty big. It might have been 100,000. CDC panel drops COVID shot recommendations, calling it an individual decision. Senate rejects competing bills to fund a government increasing risk of shutdown on October 1st. Judge strikes Trump's lawsuit against New York Times over its content. Trump says Xi backs TikTok deal as leaders plan South Korea meeting, China visit to follow. And we'll just stop it right there with the headlines. We're going to jump into the juiciness. The content. Oh, shit. I forgot. My stuff's not here anymore. Because I had to restart my computer. I had everything set up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go to this first video I have because it's actually related to it. This is actually what got my theory started, was this particular video that I'm about to play. So, yeah, there is a new theory with Charlie Kirk. And part of that theory is that, well, there's like a weird tunnel that happens to be right under Charlie Kirk. And I don't know if it was there beforehand, before he got shot, but there is some type of tunnel beneath Charlie Kirk in a separate video, and I'm going to show that video here in a second. But I'm going to show this video first. And it's basically where you have a bunch of construction workers working on the site, literally like a day or two after Charlie Kirk's death, his alleged death. Because sometimes, well, there's different speculation. Some people think that he's still alive and he's in New Zealand at a resort somewhere. And yes, that's a real theory. People, start to speculate, what does Valhalla mean? And then they started to kind of conjunct it with this photo that Tyler Robinson had on his desktop computer, which, it just so happened to be Goat Island in New Zealand, and that has a place called Valhalla. Like it's some type of members-only resort. And people are speculating maybe Valhalla is just that witness protection program. There's also speculation that Valhalla means a witness protection program. Somewhere where you allegedly die and then come back to fight again. And see, that's kind of what Valhalla represents mythologically. So, if you were to play along with that whole mythological symbolism, you might come to that conclusion like, well, sounds like maybe Charlie Kirk is fighting from afar now. Maybe his death was faked because he was getting certain threats from Israel or, other entities. And, I'm not outright saying this is truth. I'm just saying that it is a possibility. There's a likelihood to, I guess, go through this whole process to try to expose, someone that claims to be an ally. I mean, that's why I named last night's video Borderline Enemy. It's because we have certain countries that claim to be allies, and they don't really seem to act like allies. One in particular I'm talking about here, but there's actually several. But anyways, not to linger, I'm just going to go ahead and jump on into this. Now, whenever I initially watched this video, I just thought it was completely dumb. I almost got to a point where I just wasn't even going to repost it. But then I remembered the video from last night that I saw where he had a tunnel allegedly beneath his feet at the location. And it sounds pretty crazy to me, like why would anybody have like a, some type of tunnel beneath the stage area. I mean, maybe it's for, you know, different events, maybe magic shows. I don't know. There's different reasons to have a tunnel. Maybe even plug-ins for a show. But you know, this particular location just so happened to look like a menorah. Strangely enough, a Jewish menorah. I mean, I'm not saying it's identical, but it you know, does kind of resemble it. And there is all this speculation around the possibility of Israel playing a part in all of this, and there's also even new theories where it might be trying to link even more so with Israel, and it's almost like just the evidence just keeps rolling out. Now, I'm not going to say this video is fact, but this is coming from someone that claims to be a sniper. So that is some type of expertise to help aid someone's, you know, observation. I'm not saying he's all fact or anything. He doesn't even claim for it to be fact, but he is pointing out, you know, certain important things here. I'm just going to read what I said here real quick. I should be reading this afterwards, but since we're already here, I'm just going to go ahead and read it. The interesting fact about this, there was a weird tunnel beneath Charlie shown a few days after his alleged death. There's a video showing the new construction right where he died with a tunnel right beneath him. And it's like a hatch. There's like this weird hatch that opens up, and it just so happens, like, I guess Charlie Kirk was sitting in this area. I mean, I know it looks like grass, but I guess maybe they might have had something over this area. I'm not too sure. It is just odd, too, that they had this construction. I don't even know too much about it. Like, why did they have construction a day or two after his death? Like, that looks like a cover-up. Anyways, the video showing the new construction right where he died with a tunnel right beneath him. You thinking what I'm thinking? Strange how a crime scene gets construction work done immediately after Charlie's death. Or after Charlie dies. Not suspicious at all.
Once you see it,
Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was off. I'm making really stupid mistakes in my mic tonight, but as you can see right here, there's a vapor trail from a possible bullet right here, and it looks like it goes straight up into him. So now we have the new theory of the possible speculation that there was a shot from underneath him. And I mean, you can clearly see that it moves on the screen. Okay, I'm just gonna play it through this time. Now, what a vapor trail is, certain conditions have to be right. He's going to explain it too. But a vapor trail is basically kind of what's left over from a bullet. That's why some of this is kind of lingered after it hits. You know, vapor trail is literally just the vapor trail from a bullet, from the moisture in the air. Now, like I said, usually have to have the right conditions for a vapor trail. They're not always visible, but it almost appears as if this is a visible vapor trail. I'm not saying that's exactly what it is, but that's what it looks like.
once you see it, you can't unsee it. it's a projectile flying super, super fast, and it goes right in between his legs near the tip of the microphone. Like, everybody that's saying that it's an injury wound now and that we're just all crazy and it's a conspiracy, bullshit, man. Bullshit. Look at the angle. It's an exit wound. The bullet passes right between his knees. I mean, what else is it? If it's something else, I'll come back and I'll apologize. I'll be like, hey, I had it all wrong. But from my experience, and I've seen vapor trails as a sniper, I know what bullets look like in the air. I can see a bullet going downrange and hitting its target. It has to be, you generally has to be the right environment, but you can generally see it if you look right over it. It's called the vapor trail. You can see that bullet. That's a bullet. And if it's not, what else is it? Going straight into the ground in front of Charlie. Follow for more. This is huge.
Now, he didn't speculate as far as I did, but we're about to go there. We are about to go there. I just gotta find it. All my mess of videos. I got some good stuff, so is this it? Oh no, I think he was talking about it too. Okay, that was Owen Schroyer, and that was 10 hours ago, okay. So apparently this video has been out for 17 hours. I missed this last night. Good to see Owen is paying attention. I missed that last night. I want to watch this later. It's an hour and 30 minutes. Well, no, 72 minutes, so it's a little bit over an hour. Dark History of Organized Crime in Israel, filmed and directed by Ryan Mata. Seems like Ryan is really starting to grow here lately. Alright, where's my video at? This is it right here. I hate reposting this guy, because this guy posts some of the weirdest stuff. Like, I mean, I feel like there is probably some weird truth to a lot of the stuff that he posts, but at the same time, I don't know. It is very, very conspiracy oriented. Turning Point USA, I guess he's a part of that, Jack Wallace. I don't know. There's like some weird autistic behavior from this guy. I don't know what to really call it, but either way, I saw this video, and since it was the construction site of, you know, where Charlie allegedly died, I mean, it is kind of odd. Like, why would you disrespect the grounds that someone just died like a couple days later? Why is there construction going on a crime scene? I mean, it really is sick. Like, if you know, let's set aside the theory that, you know, maybe Charlie is alive and he went into witness protection trying to avoid some assassination, so they faked his death. Well, let's just also go back to the other theory that he is dead. And let's just, you know, use that last video along with what we learned from this video. So supposedly this is right where Charlie was at. That hatch. And there's more than one, it looks like. It looks like there's two hatches. They're putting a bunch of tile down. Tile over what looks like sand. Is that weird for me to think that? That looks like sand. And what's even weirder... Okay, so we remember from the other videos that there was grass where he was like standing at. It looks like they pulled up a lot of the, what do they call that again? The little slabs of grass that they lay down. I forgot what they're called. That's pretty bad too, because I used to do landscaping. I can't even think of what they're called right now. Oh well. Everyone but Americans see through the Zionist BS, says Happy Hippie. Not Happy Hippie. What the hell did I just say? Earth Hippie. Jesus. Alright. It's late, y'all.
All what we can not to hurt the citizens. For example, these days, actually today,
You kill more than 70,000 civilians.
No.
There are more than shoot. Not the children, not the women.
we do specific war will end when the organization will release all our soldiers and will give up his weapon because we can't stop the war as long as we have the hostages.
This kind of propaganda have too many. No one believe it.
All what we can not to.
That's a base Chinaman. Hold up, I want to hear him say that one part again.
Hurt the citizens. For example, these days, actually today,
You kill more than 70,000 civilians.
No.
There are more than shoot. Not the children.
Not the children. I'm sorry, just the way he said that. I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm actually on the Chinese guy's side. I just thought it was funny the way he said it, but like, damn, based Chinaman. And I don't agree with Chinese people that often anymore. I mean, I guess I used to when I was a kid, but I guess I didn't realize that China was being used to subvert us one day. But I don't know. I mean, at the same time, I'm sure the Chinese probably feel like they've been abused and used by the West. But we definitely got sold out by our own people. Different technologies. I mean, that's why they copy literally everything that we have. Think of the children. Banned a documentary from the 1940s. I don't know if I can actually play this video. It sounds like it might be like a translation of a German video from like possibly like Nazi Germany. But one thing I don't think that a lot of people have really talked about too much is just why the fact that, well, the other side of the argument in World War II, why did Hitler hate the Jews so much? I guess I kind of have to play it now. But it's so interlinked to other things that I've been discussing throughout my channel and also just throughout my entire history of politics and activism. You know, I've always talked against the bankers. I've always talked against, you know, the power elite. I've been heavily against Democrats for actually, pretty much my entire adult life. I guess like my early adult life, I was still learning politics, so we kind of fall into the Democrat trap. But I feel like a lot of people find their way out of it pretty quickly as long as they're paying attention. I know that I found my way to, you know, the independent arena within months of having to deal with Democrats, just because you just realize how much of liars they truly are very, very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and play this. I mean, I probably shouldn't, but at the same time, like, you have to call out the tyrant in the room. And if we are still dealing with such a tyranny, and it has lasted for so long under the guise of other leadership, it's kind of like one of those things where I feel like you kind of have to talk about it. And you do have to sympathize to a certain degree. Why did a certain nation rise up so heavily against one small group of people? And I know it sounds crazy to think about because, you know, I mean, I don't want to make an entire group of people out to be bad either. Like, I mean, that's the whole idea of racism half the time. It's just you hate that entire group of people just because like there's a large amount of that group of people that are bad, even though there are good people still inside that group. We can't overgeneralize, but at the same time, you have to call out the problematic people. You know, it's kind of like where if, let's just say, Jews run the world, you have to call that out. And let's just say if blacks are a majority of certain domestic crimes, like violent crimes, then you have to call that out. You know, it's mainly black men, by the way. It's not nearly as many black women. And see, like, that's where I'm being very specific. It's like, I don't have anything against black people. I don't have anything against Jews, you know, as a whole group. But you have to call out the corrupt people within those groups. And that's what we're going to try to do. This is Shadow Games Report, guys. I'm sorry if this offends anybody, but it is what it is.
Jewish business blooms as never before. The House of Rothschild is just one example of the use of this tactic by the Jews to spread their net of financial influence over the working man. The House of Warburg follows the same tactic as do other Jewish banking families. By the beginning of the 20th century, the Jews are sitting at all junctions of the world's money market. They're an international power. Though they make up only 1% of the population of the earth, their capital enables them to terrorize world exchanges, world opinion, and world politics. New York is today's chief center of Jewish power. The New York Stock Exchange, financial center of the world, is ruled by such Jewish banking houses as Kuhn, Loeb, Warburg, Hanauer, Wertheim, Leveson, Seligman, Guggenheim, Wolf, Schiff, Strauss, Stern, and so forth. These Jewish kings of finance love to play out their power behind the scenes and stay out of the limelight. Outwardly, they fit right in with their hosts. They look almost like genuine Americans. Bernard Baruch, Jewish financial advisor and friend of the American president, in the guise of a smart citizen of the United States. Otto Kahn, Jewish banker of Wall Street, enjoying his role as Anglo-Saxon lord. Jewish banker Felix Warburg. Jewish banker Mortimer Schiff. Jewish lawyer and German hater Samuel Untermyer. Professor Felix Frankfurter, Jewish legal advisor to the American president. Herbert Lehman, Jewish governor of the state of New York. LaGuardia, half-Jewish mayor of New York City. Henry Morgenthau, Jewish secretary of the Treasury of the United States. The Jew Leon Blum, former Prime Minister of France, who knows how to act just like a genuine Frenchman. Millions of French workers once greeted him as their party leader. The Jew whore Belisha, former Minister of War for England. English soldiers salute their commander. But the Jew is still a ruthless parasite even when in power, for his power doesn't come from his own strength. It lasts only as long as his misled hosts are willing to carry him on their backs.
How do I even follow that up? I just want to reiterate, I don't hate the Jews. I mean, I grew up learning to love everybody. I mean, I grew up Christian. You know, always knew that Jesus was a Jew. And I guess I can see why a lot of, you know, Christian Zionists will, you know, just go ahead and buy into the Bible and everything about it. And I guess why they might try to revere the Jew as something, you know, extra or holy. And, you know, there are many holy Jews. It's not, I mean, obviously there was Jesus. So, I mean, it's not like the entire group are, that way. I mean, it's obvious that it is mainly the higher Jewish elite. So that's who we're going to talk about, when it comes to this particular matter. It's the higher Jewish elite. Who was Hitler talking about in those videos? I mean, I assume that's a German, history piece on Jews or something. Because if you listen closely in the background, you can kind of hear some German. But anyways, moving on. We got other things to talk about. General Patton's ghost. Nothing to see here. Just CIA released documents showing the allegedly fabricated 1952 speech by Rabbi Rabinovich. Is it Rabinovich? Rabinovich? I don't know how to say it. Rabbi Rabinovich. In which he discusses the plans to accelerate World War III and achieve global domination. I can safely promise you that before 10 years have passed, our race will take its rightful place in the world, with every Jew king and every Gentile a slave. Gentiles are basically anything that's not a Jew. So, it's not hard for me to understand why Hitler became this way, because I guess if you actually read different parts of the Talmud, you'll actually learn how much the Jews hate Christians and how much they want to extinguish their religion, believe it or not. Not every Jew is a Talmudic Jew, but I mean, there's different kinds. There's different kinds of Christians, different kinds of Jews, different kinds of everything. Not everybody's the same thing. Former Vice President of Pfizer, Dr. Mike Yeadon. There wasn't a pandemic. There wasn't a public health emergency. There was nothing unusual happening. So yeah, this is the former Vice President of Pfizer, Dr. Mike Yeadon. Just to reiterate that. Just to show you, this is a person that used to, oversee a lot of the company.
In many interviews, I've been keen to tell people that there wasn't a pandemic, there wasn't a public health emergency, there was nothing unusual happening. Sometimes I'll refer to the numbers of people, going into hospital or dying of things. But I've got something that I think is more useful. In order for an emergency to be declared, like a fire or like a shark approaching a public beach, holiday beach, would you agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that before you would call out the fire engines, you'd probably be smelling smoke somewhere, someone would be, or a smoke alarm will go off. Before you would call shark alerts and get everybody off the beach, you would think someone would have seen a fin, yeah? Or someone in a helicopter said, hey, I can see some sharks approaching the beach. What I'm telling you is before an emergency is called, there is already an event at some level that someone is able to see, to detect, and warn you about, and you think, oh, that was really good that they warned us. In the case of the pandemic, that nice man at the WHO, Tedros, clever he may be, but he's not a fortune teller. He doesn't have foresight. He hasn't got long-range binoculars. He's not got a time machine. In order to declare a pandemic, which I think he did in 2020, March, whatever it was, he has to have some evidence of that. There's a little problemette, ladies and gentlemen. Not just me, but Dennis Rancourt in Canada and many other researchers have looked for signs of illness, respiratory illness, which surely would be growing somewhere in a small way in order that the WHO, from their esteemed and exalted position, could aggregate all that data and go, oh my word, it looks like there's something like a pandemic beginning. There is nowhere in the world that you can find increased frequency of respiratory illness and respiratory deaths anywhere until after the WHO called a pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, they called a pandemic with no evidence of a pandemic because they were lying to you. They were lying to you. Then they created all our governments created the
They
impression
wouldn't
of a
lie to
pandemic
us.
by misusing a
government?
test that doesn't measure what it says, PCR. There's literally, what we had is a pandemic, a rollout of the test. It's as simple as that.
The government would
Increased number of
never
cases
lie to
everywhere
me.
was a pandemic of a rollout of a rubbish test. It's not a mistake. They knew it was rubbish. They designed it to be rubbish. They designed it to produce positives where there was no illness. And then when people died, they said, oh, they had COVID. They literally did that. And then, I'm afraid, medical procedures in care homes and hospitals led to people being killed. But this is old news. You've heard all this before. I just wanted to tell you, you can't have an emergency without some sign of that emergency emerging somewhere. You need that information in order, as a leader, to say, I'm afraid, folks, I've got bad news. There's an emergency coming, batten down the hatches. For these pandemics, they just lied to you. Nothing was happening. If you go and look for it, you'll not find the evidence. They called the pandemic, and then the data started arriving, which was fraudulent. So it's as simple as that.
Simple as that. Who is this guy? I need to like figure out who this guy in this video is, because he's got a lot of knowledge on the so-called deep state. Whenever I ask Grok who he is, Grok said it's Alex Jones, and it's obviously not Alex Jones. I'll cover this real quick, and then I'll talk about this Trump $100,000 annual H-1B visa fee.
Jared Kushner is a Zionist tool. He is an instrument of the deep state, and he is sexually and financially compromised, according to MI6 and some CIA sources, not official. He is owned by Zionist sugar daddies. First you buy a newspaper, then you marry the daughter, then you buy a building, then you get the dad, then you take his power. This is actually on Bloomberg as how Jared Kushner is going to execute patricide. What people don't understand is that Ivanka Trump was profiled by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, both of them Mossad agents. Ghislaine Maxwell is the daughter of Robert Maxwell, who is the most famous Zionist spy in the United States of America. So my bottom line on Jared Kushner is that he is known to be an agent of a foreign power. He is known to be an Israeli firster. He is known to have executed some very bad business deals, and he is known to have been bailed out on his 666 Mark of the Beast building by Qatar. Okay? So he's compromised in every possible way.
Oh my God. Sorry, I thought my mic was on. I was laughing just now. I was arguing with somebody about him carrying around his gun earlier, talking about Tyler Robinson. And it's just like all the video shows like he obviously didn't have this gun in his pants. I don't know. I'll get back to that in a second. I said I was going to talk about this next. Trump imposes a $100,000 annual H-1B visa fee in executive order. President Trump signed an executive order on September 19th, raising the H-1B visa fee to $100,000 per year per worker to address program abuse and safeguard American jobs. The order has introduced the Trump Gold Card program, allowing wealthier, highly talented individuals to pay $1 million or obtain $2 million sponsorship for expedited residency. What does that mean? Does that mean like $2 million sponsorship from like their country or like from a sponsor here in America? I never remember hearing about the sponsorship part. For expedited residency. Interesting. Administration officials highlight prioritization of irreplicable talent and revenue generation. I feel like if you pay that much for a student, aren't you just kind of like, I don't know, aren't you like basically buying a person? That's what it seems like to me. I mean, are they still going to have the same freedoms? Is that person always going to have, you know, that thing over their head where they can just say like, Do you not remember whenever I funded you $2 million? Anyways, administration officials highlight prioritization of irrevocable talent and revenue generation, while tech and medical sectors express concerns over potential innovation losses and staffing shortages. Well, you need to train Americans, motherfuckers. Like, you need to, like, make free college for certain sectors that need it. The government's gonna fund it. Like, do it. I don't know what is wrong with these jackasses. It's like, if you're getting rid of all of this funding for other things, it's like you can start funding good things now. Okay? Like, I mean, I know they're trying to pay off some debt and everything, but at the same time, it's just like, bro, if we really wanted to, we could cancel fiat currency anytime we want to. Like, we can actually just get rid of it. We can cancel it. We can delete it. I know people frown upon that, but I'm just like, it has no value. It's debt. And the Federal Reserve owes us, the people, money. Okay? Like, they robbed us for years. I mean, not just them, but, you know, the policymakers that were pulling the money out of the Federal Reserve and Treasury and everything, you know, blah, blah, blah. Either way, let's get to this video real quick. Stroke of a pen, President Trump raises H-1B visa fee from $1,000 to $100,000. I still think it should be $500,000 each.
Tech companies or other,
just to make it even harder. Plus, we get more money that way.
They have to pay the government $100,000, then they have to pay the employee. So it's just not economic. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land. Train Americans. Stop bringing in people to take.
You know what? Screw these universities. Like, I want more online stuff. I don't trust these universities anymore.
All of the big companies are on board. We've spoken to them about the gold card.
They love it. They love it. They really love it. They need it. Go ahead, Chuck.
Like, I'm sorry. These colleges have been propaganda outlets for years. And I think it's just time to, like, decouple from them. They're completely indoctrinating our society to believe in bullshit half the time that we don't even go along with. Like, we just do it because we have to so we can get a grade. I mean, like, that's why a lot of people are not even wanting to go to college anymore. It's because they know that these people are lying to them in different ways. They just don't know how to articulate it until they get out. You know, they don't notice the strangeness until they left. They're like, holy shit, I can't even believe that, you know, I put up with that until, you know, after thinking about it now. Like, back whenever I had to, like, go to different white man hating feminist meetings with my ex-girlfriend, it totally shocked me, you know. It was just like, I mean, but I went along with it because I was just like, how bad of a problem is this? Like, why are so many people, like, you know, going along with this? But that was before I knew it was propaganda. You know, it's like, if you're not familiar with your government lying to you and or even school teachers lying to you, I mean, hell, we didn't even know a lot of these different organizations were just, like, feeding back money into different areas until recently. I mean, at least once we had the money trail to go off of. Anyways, let me finish this up. I mean, it only had 2 more seconds left on the video. This will be absolutely devastating in the medical field. 30% residents are international medical graduates. 10,000 of 43,000 residency spots filled by docs with H-1B visas. Previously, the H-1B fee was $5,000. No hospital will pay a $100,000 fee for $55,000 resident salary. Good. I mean, that's more incentive to train Americans. Like, stop trying to train everybody else but us. I mean, we really need to bring down the cost of everything to do with education. I mean, honestly, these universities were getting way too much for the longest time. Plus, I mean, I can even kind of use my local college to go off of to know that they don't really spend this money towards their students half the time. They're just expanding on the campus. They'll add new buildings. I mean, sometimes they'll add some new courses and everything, but really, it just kind of seems like it's more of like glamour type stuff. Like they'll create these massive structured buildings that just cost way too much. And I don't know, it just seems like a glamour show. It just doesn't even seem like they're even focused on making sure that anybody graduates. Yeah, I don't think they think about student stress. I don't think they think about anything. I just think it's a money racket. I really do. I mean, I'll be honest, I dropped out of college. I dropped out of college because, well, I noticed a lot of this shit starting to kind of pop up, and then it only got worse over the years. And then once I realized it was actually I mean, I kind of knew earlier than most people that it was coming from the universities just because I witnessed it. I'm sure anybody that actually, saw it in the universities, probably noticed it themselves, but a lot of people just went along with it. They didn't frown upon it. I mean, I did have to bring up to my ex-girlfriend at the time that she had a lot of racist books on her shelf. I was actually so surprised that there were so many different racist books against white people, but I didn't realize that they were being funded by certain, NGOs and yada, yada, yada. Nick, Mark, MD, this will absolutely devastate. Yeah, we just said that. I think we just watched this video. I'm just going to go ahead and play this one.
One of the most abused visa systems in our current immigration system has been the H-1B non-immigrant visa program. This is supposed to allow highly skilled laborers who work in fields that Americans don't work in to come into the United States of America. What this proclamation will do is raise the fee that companies pay to sponsor H-1B applicants to $100,000. This will ensure that the people they're bringing in are actually very highly skilled and that they're not replaceable by American workers. So it'll protect American workers, but ensure that companies have a pathway to hire truly extraordinary people and bring them to the United States to work.
We need workers. We need workers. We need great workers. And
that was actually explained a lot better. Anyways, back to this. FBI reports Charlie Kirk's shooter smuggled rifle and backpack assembled on rooftop, disassembled after shot, left in towel in the woods. Yeah, I guess it's only 2 times that he assembled or disassembled it right here. But, yeah, I mean, I heard there was 3 different times that he assembled and disassembled. Oh yeah, I guess whenever he left it in a towel in the woods, that's whenever he assembled it again, because they supposedly found the gun assembled. So yeah, that would be the 3rd time. Alright, so we're looking for a gun in his pants. Somebody said he was carrying the gun in his pants. Okay, I don't see any gun in his pants. Some people were saying that's why he was limping.
On this episode of You Might Be a Dumb Motherfucker, this is my rifle. It takes 2 different tools to take it apart. It takes a
Now, we already showed this video last night, but we're going to show it again. This little part. I mean, someone else clipped all this stuff and put this video in it, but
Torx key and an Allen key. Now, if I take a shot and immediately disassemble this, I have to remove the bolt, remove the magazine, grab my Allen key, hit the 2 bolts on the bottom, put those away in the Allen key, grab my Torx key, remove the scope, put everything in the backpack, make sure I have everything, and make my way downtown. Okay, which is going to take a lot longer for him than it is for me, especially because his fine-tuned motor function, something as simple as grabbing an Allen key to a little bolt, is going to be extremely impaired due to a dump of adrenaline throughout his bloodstream. An extreme elevated heart rate is going to make these fine-tuned skills extremely difficult. I mean, just for him to think and analyze of what needs to be done to disassemble this rifle and get away would be difficult. And we're not even going to touch the topic of him assembling the rifle on top of the roof, which if you reassemble a rifle and you take a cold dead shot, it's not going to be 100% accurate. Okay, or the fact that he disassembled this after taking a shot, which the rifle's going to be hot and they found no gloves. There's just so many inconsistencies. It just makes 0 sense. I mean, I'm still working on this and I have taken this rifle apart 1,000 times. And now he has to put the pieces of the rifle into a backpack. And this is a gigantic backpack. Shout out Wolfpack, best backpacks on the fucking planet. Anyways, as you can see, this barrel, broken down, does not fit in this backpack. And this is a big boy, way bigger than the one that he was carrying. Okay, I put the rifle stock in here, and guess what? It doesn't fit. It sticks out. Now let's just say, for sake of argument, that he put these in his pant leg and he was walking. These are still so long broken down that he would not be able to walk straight. He wouldn't be able to bend his legs. Doesn't make fucking sense.
Yeah. I mean, we've discussed pretty much almost every single angle. I cut out a few different videos that I thought were too stupid to want to cover. Like the one where like the guy is like flickering his like sleeve or something. I didn't cover that video just because it was too stupid to want to cover. It wasn't even funny, so you know, if it was kind of funny, I would like. I mean, it was. I guess if you're a total idiot, it's kind of funny, but because there were some people saying that was like the shot. Like, it's like what are you shooting doing that like on your sleeve? I don't even know what the hell you're doing. All right, so this guy, I don't know what he's smoking, but I want some. Like, but at the same time, like his opinion on this like is pretty based. Like, I could see myself being this dude's friend, and like, I don't know, smoking whatever he's smoking. Play it. Play it.
They're feeding you bits and bits of Project Bluebeam so that when the time comes, you do not ask questions. Because you're about to see a lot more public executions, and I'm going to tell you why. They're not going to risk real exposure, so they're going to stage to follow the victims that they created themselves. Fauci arrested, Gates killed, Netanyahu assassinated, Schwab disappears, Soros dies peacefully, Epstein-level documents leak. The media will paint it like a cleansing, as if justice has finally been served, as if the good guys won and the system corrected itself. But it's a trap. This is predictive programming meets false savior complex, because they'll need the masses to believe the bad guys are gone, the system works now, we can trust the new tech overlords, because their endgame is total digital control, and what better way to sell the final system than by giving you a few public executions on national television, letting whistleblowers expose controlled information, while offering a new digital infrastructure as the solution to all global problems. But here's what'll catch you: biometric ID will be required, CBDCs will control your ability to buy, travel, AI judges and courts will decide what's true, and if you don't comply, you're deleted socially, digitally, and economically, all under the illusion that the evil has been eradicated, and the people will cheer. That's the most twisted, sinister part. People will believe that they're free right when the cage is finally closing around them, because the new control system won't look like tyranny, it'll look like safety, innovation, equality, peace. George Orwell warned you, Huxley warned you, and now you're watching it play out in real time. So here's my final thoughts. They want you to celebrate the death of the villain so you never notice the hand of the director behind the curtain. And I truly believe this is only one of many public executions that we're about to see in the future. Because what's coming isn't freedom, it's managed awakening, and if you can't spot the script, you'll get played like an actor inside of it.
I like that guy. I don't care if he's wrong. Like, that was a fun story. Like, I would definitely smoke one with him. Just for fun. Just to hear some more stories. I'll be like, holy shit, man. Alright. Like I said, I want to watch this later. I haven't actually watched it yet. It's from Ian Carroll. Harrison H. Smith. People are skeptical about Israel killing Charlie Kirk. I get it. Excuse me, sorry. But honestly, ask the question, if they did, would you ever find out? Would the media report it? Would the intel agencies investigate it? Would our politicians demand answers? Or would it look like this? Talking about the current situation. Why would Israel want to blow up the USS Liberty? We're their allies. Also from Harrison Smith. You're telling me they are fighting a multi-front war for their existence, but they're going to go out of their way to bomb an American ship that was sent there to help them. Just admit you hate Jews. He's being sarcastic, guys, just in case that's elusive. I assume he's being sarcastic. So Owen Schroyer was covering that bullet coming from the middle of his legs. I'm actually glad I covered the other guy because that was more of a, it was actually coming from a sniper. I don't know, is that the same video? It might be the same video. Looks clipped though, looks shorter. Nick Sorter says it's confirmed Ilhan Omar married her brother. Her marital records obtained by S. Crowder. This is immigration fraud. DOJ needs to start the process of revoking Omar's citizenship immediately. And I'm just going to add to that, you might as well just go ahead and try to revoke anyone's citizenship that went through this type of process to get here. Because I'm sure there's probably quite a few more people doing stuff like this just to gain citizenship. Russia has declared it will seize the financial assets of international Satanists and place them on a terror watch list. The Russian government views Satanism as a dangerous ideology that justifies evil, claiming its crackdown aims to protect faith, family, and tradition.
Они привыкли столетиями набивать брюхо человеческой плотью, а карманы деньгами. Но они должны понять, что бал вампиров заканчивается. Они привыкли столетиями набивать брюхо человеческой плотью, а карманы деньгами.
Harrison H. Smith again. I've been reposting a lot of his stuff lately. I truly believe that we, as Americans, have the capability to do two things at once. Dismantle leftist terror networks without encroaching on the rights of innocent Americans. Decouple from Israel. I'm sorry, I should have said 1 and 2. It was two separate things. One is not a distraction from the other. They are two fronts of the same war. I mostly agree. Some would say they're not entirely related, but I know what he means. They are in many different ways, especially through funding and yada, yada, yada. Mr. Red Pills, Yoka Karmi says, he hitting her with all facts. To my fellow Christians, listen to this one.
You said you're pro-Israel. That means you're pro-Zionist. Were you taught they're still God's chosen people?
Yes.
The New Testament says the nation of Israel is no longer God's people. The people of God is the church. Your view about Israel is wrong. They're not God's chosen people. The vineyard is what?
Israel.
And the tenants, the vine dressers, are the rulers, right?
Yes.
And their last chance, their last hope of getting it right was what? The owner, who's God the Father, do as their last chance to get right. He sent his son last of all, right?
Right.
All right. So then Jesus already says what the response will be. They'll kill him. When they kill him, what is God going to do?
Therefore, I tell you that the kingdom of God will be taken away from you.
From who?
From the Israelites.
Yeah, so why would you say they're God's chosen people? Jesus just said, when you kill me and reject me, the kingdom will be taken away from you. So where did you get they're God's chosen people? You said you're pro-Israel. That means you're pro-Zionist. Or were you taught they're still God's chosen people?
Kash Patel agrees to team up with Democrat Rep. Jared Moskowitz to push censorship of Americans on social media who share conspiracy theories about Israel. They both come to an agreement that Section 230, which shields platforms from liability for user content, should be reformed. I'll work with you on 230 any day. I've always heard as 230 as being a bad thing, but in this case, I'm kind of like wondering, I'm like, is this actually a protection for the people? I don't know, maybe we should try to hear both sides of the argument towards 230 before we actually try to get rid of it. Because I've only heard one side of the argument.
No, there are extremes on the left, and there are extremes on the right. And we collectively should tackle that. But to come here and just look at us and say we all support what's going on in the extremes is why we can't solve anything in this building. Director, let me say first, thank you for being here, and my condolences on the loss of your friend. And I'm happy to hear that you want to do more on the social media platforms. Okay? It's crazy what's going on the social media platforms. There are so many conspiracy theories on what's going on with Charlie Kirk. Israel assassinated him, right? There are conspiracy theories about your personal social life all day. It is totally rampant. Big names on the right, Candace Owens, right? Talking about how what's been released as far as the dialogue between the perpetrator and his roommate is manufactured by the FBI, manufactured by the administration. It is totally rampant, allowing foreign governments to just perpetrate these platforms, all of these bots, all of the time to weaponize Americans. You see what's going on here? This is a byproduct of all of that. What's going on in the streets is a byproduct of all of that. What's happening is you see people celebrate Luigi Mangione is a byproduct of all of that. And so if we want to do something, then we should talk about Section 230. We should talk about how we're going to make sure that we don't let foreign governments poison our children's mind. And so I will work with you on that, Director.
I'll work with you on 230 any day.
No problem. So now, that was the good part.
Okay, that's not enough to really go on with Cash. He said he worked with him. That doesn't really mean a lot. You know what I mean? So yeah, protesters clashed with ICE agents at Broadview facility in deportation protest. Dozens of demonstrators blocked entrances at the Broadview ICE processing center in Illinois early Friday for to protest mass deportations under Operation Midway Blitz, a Trump administration initiative targeting undocumented immigrants in sanctuary cities. Federal agents responded with tear gas, pepper balls, and physical force, leading to arrests and injuries, including confrontations involving Democrat congressional candidate Kat Abu Ghazala and Evanston Mayor Daniel Biss. Or is it Bliss? Or I guess it's Biss. The incident highlights escalating tensions over immigration enforcement, with DHS accusing protesters of aiding criminals and activists decrying excessive force. Ooh, is he about to hit her with a bat? What's going on here? Oh, I guess I thought I saw a bat. It's only 10 seconds. Oh! He popped her butt and her boob. I think he grabbed her boob, actually. Let's analyze this. He grabbed her right by the boob and threw her down. Holy shit. There were no fucks given that day. I kind of feel sorry for her butt, but I feel like she's probably been hit harder than that. I'm sorry, that was not necessary. MJ Truth Ultra. And there it is. Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Saar is demanding the 250 U.S. lawmakers who just went to Israel for their 50 States One Israel event to start passing BDS laws to punish those who boycott Israel. Getting pretty sick of this. What does BDS stand for? Boycott something? Is it boycott defense system laws? I don't know. You know, Trump is trying to send like another, I think it was like 6 billion. It might be 6 million, but I want to say it was 6 billion to Israel again for weapons. And I think that was just announced today. I might have even posted it. Did you know Rothschilds took over all the financial operations of the Catholic Church in 1823? So the Rothschilds owned the Catholic Church. Would you look at that? Might explain the Catholic Church to some degree and why so many started to protest it. It might even explain why Protestants started to divert from Catholics. I mean, that's what Protestant means. It means to protest. And who were they protesting? They were protesting the Catholics. This is how a fully armored ICE agent treated me for... Is this her? Mr. Star Spangled Manga? Is that her? Why does she have a mask on? Oh! Damn. It almost looked like she was about to, like, I don't know, break her butt. Like, that was a heavy hit. I don't know. She probably doesn't have a lot of meat on her butt either. Like, that's why she wears those baggy pants. She doesn't want to show off her chicken legs. I'm sorry, that's not necessary. That's not necessary. I'm sorry, guys. Eric Doherty, breaking ICE and federal agents just unleashed on left-wing agitators and arrested at least one who tried to form a blockade at an immigration facility near Chicago. They deployed tear gas and pepper balls. ICE is done playing games. Sting balls, he said. Pew pew pew! Pew pew pew! You know, that is one reason to join ICE and whoever else. If you want to play paintball, guys, like, this is the way to do it. I didn't really think about that until now. I used to play paintball. Like, paintball was pretty fucking fun. And now, like, you have an excuse. So I'm just, like, thinking, like, bro, like, if you want to, like, go play paintball almost every single day with, like, pepper spray balls, like, this is, like, your time to shine. If you like video games, if you like, you know, shooting illegals with you know, non-lethal rounds. I mean, you got rubber bullets too. Like, you're gonna be busting faces. You're gonna be doing all kinds of, you know, cool shit. Honestly, it makes me kind of want to join, but I also don't want to be a fed. Like, I don't want to join up with that. I don't want to be, like, you know, coerced into doing weird shit. I mean, I respect all the people that want to do that. Somebody also tried to make me out to be, like, anti-cop earlier. I'm not anti-cop. I'm anti-corrupt cop. Just want to be very clear on that. I don't know. People like to mix up people's perspectives and everything, and I'm just kind of like, no. If you're gonna say shit about me, like, at least get it right. You know? Like, I don't mind if you're saying the right shit. But, like, if you just, like, skew shit and you constantly lie about somebody, I mean, you can really grab them by the balls if you know, people start lying about you, because then you can hold them to that forever and just show that they're not a trustworthy person. Like, just constantly disprove them with the truth, and you'll outshine them pretty quickly. Anyways, did I play this yet? Why is he shooting in front of him? Warning shots. They got gas mask on, retards. I'm not gonna lie, I've started to kind of enjoy this new strategy where, like, they just go ahead and arrest whoever comes up, you know, to them. It's pretty smart. Just go ahead and take the, you know, most rowdy ones out of the equation, and usually that disperses the crowd. Like, the crowd sees that, and all of the less likely people start to back out pretty quickly. But I feel like a lot of these are probably paid protesters if they're getting anywhere close. This has to be coming straight out of like some billionaire's pocket if, I don't know. Or actually, a lot of this looks like journalists in the background. Dude, this is kind of a joke. Half the fucking audience are like journalists. You can even see with the gas mask over here, like there's all these people with like cameras. You know, whatever happened to like public indecency? Like if you're like screaming like a maniac on the street. I mean, I feel like there's like noise violations and disturbance violations. There's all kinds of things you can claim that to be. And I'm just like thinking like, why don't they just go ahead and arrest, I don't know, these people that are just like incoherently screaming. I mean, they can release them later, but it's just kind of like get them off the street so they'll stop, I guess, creating this, I don't know. And I know it's a fine line when it comes to protesting, but some of these people are just running straight up to them after they're told to back up. And I mean, they're just blocking a vehicle right here. Like that's impeding traffic. Like go ahead and arrest these people. Like there's plenty of different laws I see broken right away. And, you know, if like this is like just a normal person half the time, just like one person, a cop would gladly arrest them. I mean, it's clearly like the multitude of people that makes this harder to arrest, but at the same time, you have to realize these different analytical systems that can analyze video can pick up on different patterns now, pretty much any pattern, and pick up different features on different people's faces. And it might be able to cross-reference you pretty quickly and pick up on your identity. So it's kind of good that a lot of these people wear masks, but at the same time, it's only going to get better and better to the point where there's just going to be these retina scanners. It's going to be like Minority Report, and, you know, crowds are going to be easily identifiable unless they have like some type of special eyewear. Who's holding her? Hold up. That looked like a nice paintball gun. I gotta look at that. Damn. What do they got these days? I think it's kind of cool how they put, I know it's been done for a while, but back in the day, the CO2 kind of went on the back and almost acted like a bump stock. Now they put the CO2 on the front half the time. Sorry, I'm just kind of being a nerd. That's a good driver. He didn't run over anybody.
Nazi fucking Gestapo pricks! You are Nazis! You are Nazis! You
I'm sorry, lady, but at this point, they don't give a shit what you call them. Like, they'll probably start calling themselves Nazis just because, like, you guys won't shut the fuck up about it. Like, it's getting to that weird place. And, you know, that's why people like Nick Fuentes is getting popular right now. It's because there's all this weirdness with Israel and, you know, speculation around Charlie's death. And, you know, it brings people back to that time period, you know, where I guess they start to question the supposed tyrant in the room. And I mean, you kind of have to if these people seem to have some type of weird control over our nation. I mean, that's how you know that's a true tyrant. Whenever most of our congressmen and women, are so reluctant to pass certain anti-Semitic laws or anti-Semitic laws, I guess you would call them. Either way, this is pretty much done. I would just wear like earplugs. I don't really mind like them saying, you know, F you all the time. It's just more or less like I would just, I don't know, my ears hearing that all the time. Like I would wear earplugs. I just don't want to hear it like loud. Like something like that where it's all muffled. Yeah, that's much better. Much better. I can handle hell if I have earplugs. Dude, I would like seriously like just have like a Titman paintball gun and just like unload on all these mofos right now, like fully auto. Like get the fuck out of here now. And I would look straight at the camera and be like, I'm a badass motherfucker. Don't fuck with me. And then I would show my badge. I'd be like, give me a raise. Like, that's what I felt like that guy was like kind of saying in his head. He's like, I'm about to like wreck y'all. Alright, I'm done here. What else we got? Hopefully we don't got too many more. I'm just gonna speed run through these videos. Holy shite from Harrison H. Smith. Alex Stein ejected from NYC City Hall for bringing up 9/11 truth. This is a comedian, political comedian, I guess.
Here in New York City, all the way from Dallas, Texas, on the 23rd anniversary of the terror attacks that happened on September 11th, 2001.
So
these buildings were owned by the Port. It's about the Port Authority, Amanda. Amanda, it's about the Port Authority. Do not try to shut me down. Now, on the 23rd anniversary, the Port. Yeah, I am talking about the Port Authority. The Port Authority owned these buildings. They sold them to Larry Silverstein for a very cheap price. If you look into Tower 7, it looked like a controlled demolition. University of Alaska at Fairbanks did a study on this, and they said that the way that these buildings fell looked clearly like a controlled demolition. So we need to look into the Port Authority on why they were able to sell these buildings so cheaply. Now, if you do some research, into the Port Authority, let me talk about the Port Authority. If you do some research into these towers, they had irreparable asbestos. Not only were they basically totaled because the price to fix this buildings were owned by the Port.
I'm gonna start this over. I didn't realize how low it was.
Alex Stein. I'm here in New York City, all the way from Dallas, Texas, on the 23rd anniversary of the terror attacks that happened on September 11th, 2001.
So
these buildings were owned by the Port. It's about the Port Authority, Amanda. Amanda, it's about the Port Authority. Do not try to shut me down. Now, on the 23rd anniversary, the Port. Yeah, I am talking about the Port Authority. The Port Authority owned these buildings. They sold them to Larry Silverstein for a very cheap.
Okay, you shouldn't have reacted that way. She was trying to let him speak, but she was just like letting him know that it's about something specific.
Price. If you look into Tower 7, it looked like a controlled demolition. University of Alaska at Fairbanks did a study on this, and they said that the way that these buildings fell looked clearly like a controlled demolition. So we need to look into the Port Authority on why they were able to sell these buildings so cheaply. Now, if you do some research, into the Port Authority, let me talk about the Port Authority. If you do some research into these towers, they had irreparable asbestos. Not only were they basically totaled because the price to fix this asbestos made the buildings worthless.
Mr. Stein, I'd like to to reiterate that while you are talking about the Port Authority,
Yes, I am. Quit shutting me down. Are you going to stop the clock? I'm here to bring up 9/11 truth, and you're trying to stop me because you don't like this. Listen,
I want you to be
are you the same person that said the EPA?
NYC ferries development and its ticketing system.
So, hey, are the ferries under the Port Authority's jurisdiction?
And the possibility
Let me just
of it
tell you
being
this.
an NYC
Listen,
ferry
you're trying to hide the truth. If you look into 9/11, you guys lied. You said the air was okay. The EPA said the air was fine on September 11th, and all those firefighters that got cancer and died. What do you care about them? What do you think about those? What do you think about all the people? No, it's not my time.
Focus on the NYC ferry system.
Let me get. What is going on? Let me grab my phone. I'll leave. Guys, I'll leave. Can I get my phone? Guys, grab my phone. I'll leave.
Keep going.
I'll leave.
We got it. Keep going.
What is going on? Why are you touching me? I'm leaving. Can I have my phone?
You're welcome. We'll bring you your phone.
What is going
on? I actually don't even agree after hearing this the second time now. The first time I was on his side, but after like seeing this the second time, I kind of see things a little bit differently. So she's like there to talk about the NYC ferry ticketing system or something. And he's talking about like something way more serious than the ferry system ticketing system. I mean, I'm not saying it should get him kicked out, but he was getting kind of irrational pretty quickly. Also, his pupils seem kind of dilated, almost like he's smoked something. I don't know.
on? You guys don't care about 9/11?
Maybe he just has dark eyes, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Is his eyes just brown, and maybe they all look dilated, but this one looks dilated. This one looks like it's smaller. I don't know.
In truth, throwing me, touching me. Why are you grabbing me like that? Let me have my phone.
There you go.
This is ridiculous.
Keep walking.
I mean, it's kind of funny because he's a comedian, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle. He was being kind of disruptive. He wouldn't let her speak, and that's what did that. You know, after watching it the second time, I mean, if you can pick up on people's disrespect line, I often reference it as, or, you know, offense line, then I feel like you can kind of get along with someone pretty well if you know where that line is at. But if you don't know where that line is at and you're just disrespecting them by not letting them speak or letting them be a person, and you're just treating them like, you know, an authority, not every single person that's in authority is like that. So give them the benefit of a doubt and try to, you know, I mean, she seemed like she was mostly calm until he got, you know, out of place. But anyways, investigative journalist Dr. Carolyn went undercover with Antifa, and she says it's military operation.
Carlin Borisenko is an undercover investigative journalist for Decode the Left who's infiltrated these terror cells. Carlin, tell me about how these people train.
She's creepy looking.
They look pretty.
That's a woman? Are you sure that's not a trans person? That's a creepy looking woman. I'm sorry.
Militaristic.
Yeah, absolutely. They do have sessions where they bring in people with military experience. Anti-war is a very big thing for Antifa, so they do hand-to-hand combat trainings. I was just undercover with them in New York City over the weekend, where they had a whole self-defense class where they were teaching people how to violently, you know, confront.
Okay. Whenever I guess, knew a few different people that were in Antifa in Nashville, like, years ago, I don't remember them ever doing shit like this. Like, back then, it was just, like, protest planning and stuff. So, it kind of seems like after, I don't know, maybe 2018 or something, like, Antifa started to get more militant. I remember, like, the Democrat Party was getting kind of weird there for a little while. Plus, it was kind of built up towards 2020, whenever everything kind of popped off. But, yeah. I don't know, it's just strange. You know, like, whenever I first heard about Antifa, I thought it was just, like, going to be, like, an anarchist group. I didn't know that they were, like, anarcho-communist. That was something, that was, like, a totally new word for me at the time. I was just kind of like, I've never heard that before, anarcho-communist? And then there was, like, the yellow flags the anarcho socialist, and then you also had the other side where there was like the ANCAPs and socialist, and I don't know, there was all these different flavors of anarchy all of a sudden, and it totally ruined the anarchist movement. Because I feel like there was a decent anarchist movement starting to kind of rise up at the time, but then everything kind of got subverted through Antifa, which a lot of people didn't realize Antifa was kind of interlinked with like the Democrats and other NGOs at the time, but also it even has like possible CIA links. I'm just going to say possible just because it's not entirely confirmed yet, but I guess there's still a lot of reason to assume that.
The police, but also defend themselves if they needed to be put in that position.
And why do they always get out of jail so quickly? You see all these people get popped, they get bailed right out, and charges never stick. How is that?
Well, Antifa, actually, they train people on how to get arrested. And it's interesting with far left subcultures because they actually volunteer to get arrested and go through this type of training where they are provided legal support, they are provided lawyers, they are provided all of this stuff with mutual aid. And so as soon as they get arrested, Antifa basically goes down to the jail and they bail them out, and they are all set up with a lawyer and ready to go. So they plan all of this stuff out ahead of time, and they have the resources set up for people to be able to be taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, obviously someone's paying for their legal representation. What is the core mission of Antifa? Is it anarchy? Are they anarchists?
Yeah, Antifa are anarchists. Their primary goal is the violent overthrow of.
Like I said, they're anarcho-communist. They're not specifically just anarchist. I mean, there are a few other flavors, like I said, anarcho-socialist and stuff, but it is kind of like more centered towards anarcho-communism. The broader base of people, it seems like. Did it stop on its own?
The federal government. I cannot emphasize this enough. We've been hearing a lot of talk about civil war over the last couple years between Democrats and Republicans, red versus blue. I firmly believe that the real civil war we have coming is the radical revolutionary socialists and communists in Antifa versus the federal government. That is their goal. That is their only goal. And people need to start taking this problem very, very seriously.
Well, as long as it's towards the government, not the people. But if it gets weird and starts boiling over that way, I don't know. I kind of feel like we probably need some type of civilian militia enforcement. I don't want that to turn into gangs, though. That's one problem I have with even mentioning militias, because then you start to have like gangs start to formulate in some sense. That's why I think we should be very careful with how we develop into more defensive forces for like maybe neighborhoods or something. You just gotta make sure it doesn't turn into some type of criminal force, because once you start to organize people with guns, it can make them start to grow a big head, and we start to see more primitive human mentalities, I guess. It's probably the best way to put it. Turns out all the crazy cranks and conspiracy theorists who were concerned about weather modification and chemtrails were right after all.
Hello, Ben Leo here. It turns out all the crazy cranks and conspiracy theorists who were concerned about chemtrails and weather modification, well, you might have been proven right after all. I've just come out the most extraordinary 2-hour congressional hearing here at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. on that very, very topic. Experts all agreeing weather modification, cloud seeding, chemtrails, it's real. Here's what happened.
My written testimony goes into detail explaining my decision to join more than 500 other scientists and academics from around the world to call for a solar engineering non-use agreement. I'll just briefly state, first, the understandings are not sufficiently developed to know what the outcomes would be, and unintended consequences are almost certain to happen. Second, our 70-year history with weather modification should give us some humility in thinking that we can understand what the consequences might be. We've been trying to modify the weather for 70 years, and we don't know if we're modifying the weather. And finally, we have one Earth, and experimenting on it carries considerable risks. I have likened geoengineering to risky gain-of-function research on viruses with uncertain benefits and catastrophic risks.
Now, the federal government has been involved in cloud seeding since the 1940s. Using the planet as a test monkey for emerging technologies poses all sorts of risks. Among these that have been highlighted by the EPA are stratospheric ozone depletion, acid rain, and reduced crop yields. There's also the question of whether such large-scale climate interventions is even necessary given the uncertainties regarding climate change.
For years, anybody who questioned weather modification was labeled crazy or a conspiracy theorist. Now we've learned that they've been doing it for decades. One geoengineering company called Make Sunsets injects aerosol into the atmosphere to reflect sunlight back into space. I want to show you their frequently asked questions. Why? It says, unless we reflect sunlight, tens of millions of people will die, and 20% of species may go extinct. These climate activists have come so far that they are actively trying to inject chemicals into the air to block the rays of the sun from hitting the earth. And they want to take away our God-given rights over the earth in order to satisfy their godless climate cult beliefs.
I'm just going to stop it right there because I didn't realize it was an 8-minute video. Suspicious timing of Charlie Kirk's assassination appears to be synthetic, created by our own deep state, warns top economic forecaster. That was from yesterday. I talked about similar things on InfoWars today. So it's good to be in good company with certain theories. But I think, I don't know, Alex Jones was pretty confident about certain theories at first, but I feel like his confidence is starting to kind of wane and change a little bit, which is good. He needs to be capable of changing rather than saying he predicted things all the time, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, we all make guesses, bro, and sometimes we get it right. It doesn't mean we predicted it. It's because we can recognize certain patterns. President Trump is set to sign a proclamation as soon as today requiring a $100,000 fee for H-1B visa applications. We already talked about that. Pretended patriotism. George Washington warned us. I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the largest defender of Israel in the United States. I don't know if that's a direct quote, but might be paraphrasing. And Trump orders third lethal strike on narco-terrorist drug vessel in international waters. President Donald Trump announced that U.S. forces carried out a lethal strike in international waters, killing 3 individuals on a vessel affiliated with a designated terrorist organization transporting narcotics towards the United States. This operation third this month, following strikes on September 2nd and 15th that eliminated cartel members as part of Trump's escalated campaign against fentanyl trafficking in groups like Venezuela's Tren de Aragua. The White House released video footage confirming the vessel's intent to deliver drugs, poisoning American communities, with Trump warning cartels to cease operations amid ongoing counter-narcotics missions in the southern Caribbean. Guess we can watch it go boom real quick. I'm going to start this game.
This post is up on X. You should go look at it. It's from the official Heritage Foundation. It says that a certain someone sent a letter of condolence to Charlie Kirk's family, praising him as a true friend. Do you guys see what date is up in the corner? Yeah. Kind of weird, eh? The letter says, to the dear family members of Charlie Kirk, with deep sorrow and great pain, I received the devastating news of the unaliving of Charlie, solely because he was a clear and unwavering voice of truth.
So yeah, they supposedly posted that on September 2nd. And it was the Israel Heritage Foundation. Anyways. What are the odds that both people who attempted to kill Donald Trump also featured in BlackRock ads? I didn't know the other one was.
The action is to appeal to what leaders.
Look at that.
Organization.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that...
Hold up. Let's go back. He's sitting in the chair right here. That's him. It's the guy that was on the roof.
In Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Supposedly, allegedly.
Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do.
Show him again, maybe?
I hope when I retire someday, they say, you know, that guy made this place a special place to come to school.
He is.
And gave as much as he could to help the community.
Got him. I'm not even going to get into this particular theory, but it is kind of interesting. It's within the same trajectory between, like, his legs or something. Candace Owens says she has now viewed the footage from the camera position behind Charlie Kirk at the moment he was taken out. She claims the video is not gruesome and from that angle shows no blood at all. So apparently whoever had the camera from back here, I guess, is giving out the video, at least to Candace Owens. Owens adds that she saw no sign of bullet exiting from behind Charlie.
There's nothing gory about this footage from the back. The thing that really stood out to me, and I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again, is that there's no blood.
Right.
There's
That's
no
what I
blood.
keep saying.
From the back. There's no blood. So I think a lot of people were wondering whether
I
or
argue,
not
where's
that
the blood
bullet
trail?
pierced and went out to the back. I think I vaguely even remember, and Skylar, you can maybe live look this up, but like I thought the feds were saying they were looking for a bullet at some point, which is now very alarming to me. I don't understand that. How could they have been looking for a bullet? Because if I'm not seeing, and there isn't, I'm telling you, what happens in the front is not what happens in the back at all. If I'm not seeing any blood, what are we to take from that? The only thing that could make sense, if what they're saying is true and that person took the shot from the place that they are saying that individual took the shot from, it would suggest that it was inside of Charlie, right? And they would know that. The feds would have known that. So they would have communicated that they were never looking for a bullet. Because remember, one shot. So I'm very confused. I'm very confused, not by what I saw, but what I didn't see. Okay?
U.S. attorney under pressure to charge Letitia James in mortgage fraud case is resigning.
Good morning, Night City! Yesterday's
I guess I'll end right there for today.
out to a solid and sturdy 30. 10 out of Haywood, thanks to an